we have new In case we have newcomers, I'll do a quick overview of Pi. For those of you that don't know, we are an outreach group to promote STEM experiences in the Bay Area, and we do this by designing and hosting a robotics competition for high schools at UC Berkeley. And we complete this whole robotics competition by have a multitude of different projects within Pi, such as software, hardware, education, and whatnot. And you'll get to meet all the project managers of those projects today and choose who you'd like to work with. This is our schedule from now on, starting next week. We will have 2 meetings a week, Wednesdays from 7 to 9 and Saturdays from 1 to 3. This will be over Zoom in this same link that you're in today. And you only really have to meet once a week. There's no like strict come every single meeting that we have, but these are when we meet. And we also have season events for you to do for the fall and spring. There's not as many during the fall. We only have 2, fall competition and PRR, or Pi Readiness Review, which is a staff-only event to see if we're ready to host the spring competition next spring. And the rest of these are all for our spring competition, which is 8 weeks long. Yep, that is that. And then if you also don't know how to join, you are already most of the way there. Most of you already filled out a link to join Pi, but if some of you didn't already, you can message me and I can send you the link. It's also on our website, pioneers.berkeley.edu. But Project Expo is kind of your last step into joining Pi because you'll just be choosing your project today. Oh, someone's editing the form. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't affect it too much, but either way, after that you choose your projects today, we'll send you out like an email officially telling you what project you're in. I'll go over the forms and projects and stuff a little bit more after this, but you'll basically give like 3 choices and then we'll let you know probably beginning of next week. And then when you come to work session, you'll split off into your project and get to see them and all that. And if it wasn't clear before, we have no application and all majors and experience levels are welcome. You may see some projects today that you're unsure about. If you don't have electrical experience or CS experience at all, you will see a lot of software teams and whatnot, but don't be afraid to join them if you're interested and you have no experience. They will teach you everything you need to know. So don't worry about joining any project that there is today.
So I think that the link we sent out was editable. So if everyone could hop off the sign-in link and then we'll send in a new link that should not be editable by you guys. That was an accident. But yeah, if you could just hop off of that link and then we'll drop a new one in the chat in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, so don't use whatever link is on the slides then or wherever it is, and we'll put a new one in. Cool. So that should cover pretty much what Pi is. If anyone has any questions, you can ask them in the chat now. But I'm pretty sure that most people know what Pi is, and we will get on to the agenda of today because Project Expo might be a little hectic with moving around in breakout rooms and stuff. So I'll explain this, and definitely if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. It's definitely very confusing, but we have a very beautiful picture drawn on the side here to help us kind of understand what's going on. This right here that we're all in is the main room, and once I'm done with like the spiel and all the questions that we may have, then I'll split everyone into breakout rooms. You'll be in little like groups and you'll see like the 3 breakout rooms right here. All of the new staff will stay in their breakout rooms, and then the project managers of each project will jump around. So if you're a new staff, don't worry at all. You're just gonna be put into a breakout room and you're just gonna sit there basically, and people will come around and present to you. Project managers should already know about how the rotation is gonna go. In each breakout room, you'll be there for 10 to 12 minutes, and projects will give pitches and or demos of some of the stuff that they do, and there'll also be time for you to ask them quick questions if you have any. And then after that 10 to 12 minutes is up, maybe longer, depending on how much time we need, we'll rotate PMs throughout the breakout room so you can hear all of their pitches. And then after that, we'll all come back into this main room, do a quick wrap up, and then you can also talk to each project one-on-one in like separate calls to ask them any like further questions if you want, or if at that point you're done and you kind of know what project you want, you can just submit the form and then that is it. For people that are just joining, please feel free to ask any questions in the chat if you don't know what's going on. And then also we just put a new link in the chat for the sign-in link, I believe. Are there any current questions about the agenda or how everything's gonna work? Is it all pretty clear so far? I will take that as a yes, but if you have questions later, feel free to ask them still. These are all of our projects, and then I think I will start to get the breakout rooms ready since that might take a bit, but this is a quick overview of all the projects that we'll be presenting to you today for you to look at. And then you'll also want to, if everyone could hop on this forum right now and tinyurl.com/pi-interest2020. This is the interest form that we have where you'll be putting in your project choices. Don't like fill this out immediately, just have it like ready. And then once all of the pitches are done, you can fill out your top 3 choices of what projects after you hear the projects. And there'll also be blurbs in the form if you like end up not remembering completely what someone said or it wasn't super clear. There's also quick little blurbs within that of what each project is. So don't worry about that, but make sure you have the form handy on you. And then if there are no questions right now, I will slowly start to get the breakout rooms ready, and you can ask any questions or anything, chat, while I'm starting to split people up. Let me see. Oh, why is it not coming up? Do I have to not be presenting? Interesting. By when should we fill out the interest form if we're still figuring out other commitments? I think that since our next Project Expo is on Saturday, you have until Saturday, but it may be a little hard. As long as you pretty much like remember what all the projects are about, then I think it's fine. And then you can have until Saturday to fill out the form. And also if you forget the link to the form or have any questions, you can ask us in the meantime as well. But we will be like sitting down Saturday afternoon to put everyone in the projects. So by Saturday is probably the best time.
But ideally immediately after the Project Expo, because it'll be fresher in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't read this part. No.
Aiden.
Okay. Hi guys. We're education, and my name is Andrew. Oh, my name is Aiden. My name is Aiden.
Oh my god. Sorry, I'm Andrew. I'm one of the PMs, and I'm second year in engineering.
Yeah, I'm also PM. I'm also second year in computer science and education. Okay, let's go.
So education, what we mainly do is we work with schools and we host decal, which is a small class for the mentors to help them prepare for the competition. We teach the mentors everything they need to know about the competition so they can try to teach that to the students to make sure that they have a fun and enjoyable experience. We host a decal, like I said, and we also are working to create guides and videos to help increase the learning opportunities for the students which we service.
What? Right, so I guess a quick question you guys may have is, what is a decal? A decal is just a student-run class at Berkeley, and our decal is dedicated to help teach students at Berkeley to help mentor students at these high schools. So that's what education is all about. And a new thing that we're introducing in education this year are supplemental projects. So in years past, we've just focused on core curriculum for the decal and things that benefit that. And this year, we really want to transition to maybe more individual projects that members may do. So education is usually, it's not a software project or engineering project. So a lot of people come from a lot of different backgrounds. So maybe if you're CS, MEC, maybe MCB, we have a place for you. And see supplemental projects are projects that you do during work session on your own time, and overall will help contribute to Edu and Pi as a whole. So for example, CS might do web dev, mechanical might do mechanical guides, and so on and so forth. And you can even make your own and propose to us.
Okay, so real quick, we also do outreach. We go to school, we present STEM and try to create interesting experiences and spark STEM interest in that school. And lastly, next slide.
So lastly, our socials, we really want to prioritize like a team community bond. And unfortunately this year we can't hang out in person. So things that we may do to replace that is we play video games. We love Among Us, if you play that, or little things here and there that maybe movie night that help us bond as a team. Yeah, that's Edu. Let me stop sharing.
I think Mac can next, so that's cool. Yeah. Sorry, I'll pull it up. Yeah, here. Cal present. Okay. Hi y'all. What's up? My name is Kevin. I'm a third-year Mackie major.
I'm Michelle. I'm a second-year intended CS major.
And wait, sorry. We're your co-PMs. So,
yeah. Okay, so a little bit about us. The mechanical team is responsible for designing and creating a robot base kit and kit extension pieces that students use to bring their ideas to the competition. You'll gain hands-on prototyping experience as we teach you how to use SolidWorks. In addition, we'll explore different robot subsystems and we'll build the prototypes for lifts, drivetrains, and intake mechanisms that we use to inspire high school students. So benefits of joining us: you can learn how to CAD, do Adobe Illustrator, we'll have fun socials, and you'll make lifelong friendships. And if we're ever meeting in person, we'll teach you how to machine and laser cut.
Some of the projects we'll be working on in Mac include kit extension. It's a sheet, like students will be able to take transactions depending on what parts they want. We'll also be designing trophies for Spring Comp, making enclosures and gears. Enclosures like protect the electrical components of the robot, and gears to like help the build speed or power for the wheels. So, yeah. In terms of timeline, we'll be starting off with some socials, and then we'll also be holding a CAD challenge, to reinforce like mechanical concepts like through like this online learning, and we'll be having tutorials to teach you these skills if you don't know it already, and also we'll be working on projects as mentioned before, and there will be more to come. Questions until after everyone's done. So yeah, hopefully you join.
Hey, it's just Don left, right? Hi, my name is Lance. I'm a PM for Don. And
wait, do you want to share screen or do I?
Wait, how much time do we have left?
It's fine.
Are we okay?
So.
Okay, go for it. Share your screen.
Okay. Wait, if you share screen, you just have to show it on.
Wait, am I doing it first?
You could just share the slides because you have to show Dawn.
Oh shoot! I didn't know I was sharing the slides. I thought you were doing that. Okay, here we go. Why don't I show Dawn and you pull up the slides right now?
Okay, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what our project's all about. We are a software project that develops an application called Dawn, and if I can, oh, you got it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so yeah, Dawn is a desktop application that students are going to be using in Pi to write code for their robot and interface with it and all of its sensors and all of its electronics. So it's basically an IDE, just like a Visual Studio Code or whatever you might be used to using. And it's also kind of a dashboard so that they can watch over all of these things. If I were to share my screen, you'd see all these cool bar charts or whatever. Yeah, it's just a whole thing that we wrote in JavaScript. Haley can tell you all about that.
Okay. So these are the main techniques that we use in Dawn. This is the main ones. There's like few smaller ones, so we're not going to get into. We'll go in more in detail when, like, if you guys have more questions in the end of the project expo. But these are the 6. We use React, Electron, Node.js, Redux protobufs, and JavaScript / TypeScript. We're moving on from JavaScript into TypeScript, and that's the newest project that we have. So you guys will be working a lot with TypeScript. So mainly it's for usage of web application. Some of these can be used for websites and stuff, but mainly we use them for our web application. For like electronics application for desktop apps. React is mainly used for mainly useful in JavaScript and also handling HTML components. Redux is this part is used for managing states, so it's like what the variable represent. And also Protobuf.js is how the main modes of communication between the robot and the runtime. So these will be the main technologies that you guys will be using.
So yeah, it'd be awesome for you guys to join Dawn because you can learn actual software development skills. You're going to be working on a team of people with a big code base on GitHub that we can just keep adding to over time with new smaller sub projects. It's a very big emphasis on web design because even though this is a desktop application, we're using JavaScript and web technologies to make it. So you can apply that in your own life, building websites and web applications. And just like all of the teams, there's no experience needed. We can teach you whatever you need to know. We know JavaScript's a pretty sought after skill. They're not really taught in the lower div CS classes, so it's a good thing to have under your belt. And by the way, we're just like really cool. You feel me? Like me and Haley, we're like the best. So like just join and you won't regret it. Promise.
All right, I think CPR is next.
We're all good people. We're all social people. All right, do you guys have any questions? It was a really brief introduction to each of the projects.
Yeah, I still think we have one more project, right? CPR.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Wait, can you guys see my screen?
Oh wait, damn. Okay, go for it.
Wait, can you guys get to see my screen? Am I sharing my screen?
No, you're not.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. We can see now.
All right. I'm Jose Valera. I am the project manager for corporate and public relations. 3 words that describe corporate and public relations will be data analytics, networking, and partnerships. What you will learn: networking, data analytics, administering events, and writing. So networking, we work with industry professionals, collab with tech companies. This past week, we collabed with Microsoft to host the Datathon. And also we do data analytics. We use pandas to find trends in data sets, analyze trends to output numbers for marketing, and create a sponsorship packet. So CPR also runs an internal Pi events. Last year we did Pi Show and Tell and Big Little Sprocket. Big Little Sprocket is basically we pair you up with new members of Pi and senior members of Pi to guide you and mentor you throughout the whole year. We also do writing. So 2 main forms of writing would be grant writing and blog post writing. Blog post writing is writing and updating the website for people who want to learn more about Pi and our alumni. And we also do social. So CPR is very friendly. So if you also want to just join Pi and CPR just to meet new people and make friends, we're open to that too. So, yeah.
All right, you guys can all see this, right? Okay. Welcome to Shepherd. Woo! My mouse doesn't work. All right. Please join Shepherd. What is Shepherd? Shepherd is the best team in Pi. What does the best team in Pi do? Best team in Pi does field control. What is field control? We turn the rules of the game into code. So what does that mean? So let's say a rule of the game is if you push a button, you get 10 points. So we are the one who detects that a robot pushes a button, and then we add 10 points to the scoreboard. So as you can see, we control a lot of things that are facing the audience. So that would be the scoreboard, the sensors on the field, or let's say the game is supposed to run for 3 minutes, we make it run for 3 minutes. And also a lot of things you don't see, like communication. So whether that be with robots or with teams, giving them pertinent information about how the game is going, if time is out, et cetera, et cetera. And so as you can see, we're pretty important to Pi competitions because we control how the game runs. So if we are down, then the game can't really run, and that's a problem. So we are really fun that way. One of the things you can do is make a scoreboard. So this is a scoreboard that I actually made last year, even though I didn't know anything about front-end development coming in. I didn't know really HTML or CSS or JavaScript. And I made this, which does not look horrible, I hope. And we didn't get to use it because the competition got canceled, but that might be one of the things you could do if you hop on board with me and Akshit, who's about to start talking.
Yeah, not only can you make that fancy, not so horrible scoreboard, you can work on a lot of other things. So Shepherd has a bunch of different components. We have like a lot of front-end stuff that's written in HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So that's like web design. And we also have a bunch of back-end components. So that's written mostly in Python using Flask. What will you do? Well, first you'll work on this onboarding project that we've spent the entire summer making, because we want to get you up to speed with Shepherd and all of its components. And we really don't require any prior programming experience. So you're going to be making this cool game of Secret Hitler. And I'll talk more about that in a second. After that, you'll mainly be working on implementing this year's game. And we have a bunch of different other projects too. There's a variety of things, as I mentioned before. Yeah. So this is our onboarding project. This is what we've designed. You have a bunch of Karen sheep, and you have a Hitler in the top left corner. It's just a cool game that we play a lot in Pi, and yeah, you'll have a lot of fun implementing it. You'll probably learn a lot. Join Shepherd.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. Okay. Hello guys, my name is Aldrich. I'm an electrical PM and this is our presentation. So a little intro to what we do. Obviously we're the electrical team, so basically we handle the electrical circuit side. This mainly composes of three things. Firstly, we design boards. We do this using a software called Eagle. And through this, we design the boards that are very important to our robots, such as the PDB, motor controllers, and several sensors that we use. Secondly, we fabricate and then we assemble these boards, soldering together the components so that we can complete the boards. And then we also write the firmware so that these boards eventually work. Here are some projects that we've been working on. Over the summer, we've been looking for better candidates to replace last year's motor controller. So these are two schematics for the motor controller boards. These are basically how you draw the sort of circuits in Eagle. This is how like their general layout, and it transfers onto the board, which is basically what you'll be looking at when you eventually print out the board and solder on components. This is another project, the sensor, and there's the same stuff and also accompanying code with it. Here are other boards that we've created in the past. As you can see in the middle, there's an example of a motor controller that's been made in the past. And as you can see, we'll be making a new one. One of the main parts of electrical is electrical production, EPROD. While it's not happening in fall because it is an in-person thing, because it's basically, we learn how to solder and sort of a bonding moment with not only electrical team members, but the whole entirety of the club, as EPROD is club-wide. Possibly it'll happen in spring. It's basically sort of assembly line for creating our boards. As for plans for this upcoming semester for new members, we'll start by introductory labs to get you caught up with the material, whether it's circuits, learning the Eagle software, or learning how to code firmware. We'll also be given starter projects to get you sort of situated with the sort of projects that we'll be doing. And even though we're remote, we'll find some way to insert some sort of social activity to keep things spicy. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys and join electrical.
All right, my turn. Hello. So my name is Charles, and I'm the PM of the Robot Simulator project. So before I get started, I guess I'll start with a demo. So here is the robot simulator in its current state. As you can see, just like the slides, it's a very minimalist design. Basically, that's because it's a prototype, and we're still building it, and that's why we need you. But what it can do is, so it's a page in your browser. You type in your code, or you like paste in your code from somewhere. So this is the same code that the high school students would run on their robot in the actual competition, or well, a simple version of it. And then they can basically, based on the code that they wrote, the robot will operate differently on our virtual field, and which right now is just a small box inside of a larger box. But we're hoping to improve that. So yeah, that's just a quick demo of what the robot simulator is. So yeah, so obviously the actual field for the competition is much more, I guess, complex. So it has more than one robot. It has different elements on the field that the robot can interact with. So it's a prototype. So it's like I was saying, it's a web app that we're hoping to deploy to our website in the future. Basically, like the knowledge that you need in order to like work on this project. So you don't need all of this knowledge, obviously, to help us. But this is the knowledge that we'll be using in the course of building it. So it's a full stack web development project. So it's a lot of it is front end web design. And there's also back-end web development and UI design, although we don't really have any experts in UI design yet, which is why the robot simulator looks like this. And one thing that I do want to mention is that it can actually be used during the pandemic, like once we actually get this out to the high school students. So we're not trying to replace the competition with this, but it's nice because our regular robotics competitions can not actually happen right now. Hopefully things get better, but this can, right? People can use it at home. Some of the work that you'll be doing if you join this project is improving the appearance of the simulator, like I was talking about. Increasing or like adding in objects that the robot can interact with, because there are none now. Adding in different configurations for the robot, like different drives, different like attachments that users can configure. And maybe in the distant future, we might be able to add in like a multiplayer of some sort. So to help out with this, you should be interested in general software development, or specifically full stack web dev, or even more specifically front-end web dev. And you should be willing to learn new languages and frameworks, because we're building this project from the ground up. And we're definitely looking for people who can pick up new things quickly and can also help us like figure out what exactly we need to use, like what languages and frameworks we need to use in order to build this as best we can. So yeah, that's the robot simulator. Thank you.
Okay, so Atlas will be presenting first. Hi everyone, my name is Helen and I am a co-project manager.
I'm Cassidy and I'm the other co-project manager. So what do? We are in charge of designing the game that the high school students play each year. So that involves both designing and coming up with the concept for the game, as well as building the field.
Next. We also build and CAD the game field, which gives you a lot of hands-on experience. Aside from 3D modeling, we use a lot of cool machines like laser cutters, 3D printers, and other tools. And we write the game manual, which includes writing the rules that we want to implement, what students are allowed or not to do. and we also referee the game.
So this last semester, we designed the field on SolidWorks, which is seen in this slide, as well as we actually got to build it using laser cutters and Jacobs. Yeah, and so if you join our team, these are some of the things you can expect to do.
So who are our members? Long story short, everyone is welcome. You don't need any experience. People from our team come from different kinds of majors. And if you like being creative or enjoy design, we are very open and very chill about it. So feel free to join us.
So what will we be doing this semester? Because competition can't happen in person, we have developed an online form of a competition. So if you join us, you'll be helping us kind of implement that, which includes judging the awards and mentoring some students. We will also be coming up with ideas for our next game. So that'll be a fun way to be creative. Yeah, so that's what we're doing this semester. Thank you.
Okay. So hi, I'm Daniel, and I'm one of the Runtime PMs.
I'm Vincent. I'm the other PM. Okay. So at Team Runtime, we're responsible for all the backend software on the robots. Our end product allows students to remotely control the robots over a network with Python. So for example, if the student moves the joystick on their game controller, we ensure that the robot moves. We make sure that commands to the robot and data coming from the robot are processed efficiently. Okay, so he hooked up a robot to a Mac and we're remotely controlling it. And here we're touching the sensors and we show that we see them move on the terminal. And this is all done through Runtime.
Yeah, so what Runtime really is the execution of code that students write on our robot. So like, let's say a student wants a motor to move forward at a certain amount of speed. When a certain button is pressed, they just type in the button they want it mapped to and the speed, while we take care of the like execution depending on the API that we've written. And because it's such a complex system, there are a lot of things that members would learn if they join us, such as working on a much lower level application in a real world project all in C, which is much deeper than anything 6U1C will ever teach you. Multi-threading, which is the idea of running multiple processes in parallel in order to have to process things much faster.
You'll learn how many software components communicate with each other through sockets, pipes, and shared memory. And in general, you'll learn development practice that's not learned in class, like version control through Git, reading documentation, and writing tests to test our software.
Yeah, and one thing I'll note is that we do accept anyone of any experience. But I would like to also add in that the learning curve is quite harsh due to many people not being familiar with C on a low-level real world application and the different technologies we use. So it may be a little difficult when you first start out with Runtime, but it's Vincent's and I's job to provide whatever we need to help you feel comfortable with the project, feel like you're contributing, and feel like you're getting something out of it. It's just going to take a bit of time when you first start out to really get comfortable with the system. So that's just one thing I wanted to add on. But if you're really interested in like networking, Arduino's low-level nitty-gritty programs, then Runtime might be the team for you. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, folks. I am the design PM. Well, I mean manager of none, but I would like to present on Design Squad. Next slide, please. So, you might notice that my presentation has some pretty cool blobs, and This is just to represent, maybe some potential on all the things you can learn in design. Next slide, please. So my name is Cindy. Oh, sorry. And yes, and that is all. And yes, next slide, please. So there are 6 things that we will be starting off with. So first, I'll be teaching you guys how to spot out good design and maybe some like go-tos, some very quick design, like things we can put together. And that will be used to make merge, graphics, prints, whatever you guys ever want to do graphically, especially since it's online now. Everyone's just going to be seeing any design you guys might be making. And also, lastly, maybe you guys will be able to play with some Lightroom. I do some photography here and there, so I can teach you guys that too. Next slide, please. All right, so basically with those skills, we will be making graphics for events, so maybe on Facebook, newsletters, Instagram, the sort, and some updates. So maybe we have cards or certificates, other things that require design that were old, and we can make new designs for those. We can also make some new merge. There's like nothing right now, so that is huge in potential right now. And sometimes we'll just be needed, so thank you stuff or other things like that. You guys will know how to make. Next slide, please. Yeah, so some things that I am in the midst of learning and maybe we'll be able to learn in the future as things go in person. Maybe we can work on stuff in the Jacobs Hall, like Maker Pass stuff, 3D modeling, like digitally or like in person. We can also make magazines and other prints. I know a little Adobe InDesign, so and then Premiere Pro. So maybe we can make videos to help with Pi. Okay. Yeah, and you guys can also apply this outside, so with memes or something. And yeah, that will be all. Thank you guys. And any questions?
Okay, cool. I think pretty much everyone is back now. I hope everyone enjoyed all the presentations. Hopefully it wasn't too hectic. I know we had a few technical difficulties. Zoom kind of hates me, but it's fine. Again, these are all the projects that you saw today. If you haven't already, you need to take this TinyURL Pi Interest 2020 and fill out what your top 3 projects are so that we can actually place you with one. You'll find this, you'll be able to get this placement I believe by the weekend or Monday is around the time we'll be doing it. So you'll get an email saying what project you're a part of, and then starting Wednesday and Saturday, you can come to meetings and be with that project. Also, just let us know if you have any concerns about that at all. And if you don't want to fill out the form right now, we do have a deadline of Saturday after the next Project Expo, but now would be the best time while it's all fresh in your mind of all the projects. And I will go on to the last slide for any questions. At this point, we can take questions here in the main room, or individual projects will soon, in maybe about like a couple minutes, go off to their own project Zoom links, and then you can go to this TinyURL and find each project Zoom, and then go and ask them any specific questions if you have any more that you want. But if you have no more questions, you are kind of set and filled out the form. That's pretty much it. Thank you all for coming to Project Expo. It definitely means a lot for you to come out and see all of our projects and listen to us all present, even though it's a little harder over Zoom. But yeah, if you have any questions, you can either ask them here in the main room, or people can also split off to other individual project Zooms and then ask each individual project a question if you had more questions for a specific project over another. But yeah, and if you have any like general questions for leadership or anyone else that you want to ask that you don't have right now, you can email us at recruiting@pioneers.berkeley.edu. But that was pretty much it for Project Expo. Thank you all for coming. If you have nothing else, you're free to go. I don't want to keep anyone, but also we will be here to answer any of your questions.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Hope to see you at first work session.
Work sessions do start next week, starting Wednesday, 7 to 9, and then also Saturday, 1 to 3.